Maybe later. Thank you.
I'm going to put up this.
Okay. Yeah.
I learned this morning from mine.
Okay. You can keep it next to your seat maybe or on that side.
It's too quiet.
For those who are joining online via YouTube, just to let you know that we will be starting at about 1:20. So please be connected. Thank you. Good afternoon, friends. May I please request you to start taking your seats in about 2 minutes? Thank you. Is it too loud? Randeep ji.
कोई नहीं पेट्रोल से नहीं कोई नहीं अच्छा I got it.
देख रहे हैं
ये ना लाइव चल रहा है YouTube तब आज के थोड़ा टाइम बाद
Good afternoon, everyone.
attendees वाला
1:30 it is.
but not too much like maybe
So, a big round of applause for all of you.
but like when it's a break or like in between
Come here in time and
okay
our
but यदि rest
proceedings can start in time.
rest
On behalf of the volunteers and the collaborators of this event, I welcome all of you here. I would like to begin with an acknowledgement of the country, and we would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands on which we gather today and all the lands that we come from and work. Specifically, I would like to acknowledge the Bunrong and Wurundjeri people and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. And we would also like to extend our respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people joining us today. I would like to begin with welcoming our dignitaries. Sheena Watt, our Parliamentary Secretary for Emergency Services is here. Welcome, Sheena. Gary Maas is on the way, should be about 5 minutes away, I guess. We have Dr. Sushil Kumar, who is our Consul General of India in the Melbourne office. We also have 3 councillors, Councillor Alana Pomeroy, who is also our Deputy Mayor, and she is at the Cardinia Shire Council. We have Councillor Matt Morgan from Basbush Council and Councillor Anthony Walter from the KC Council. Welcome all of you. We also have Viv Nguyen, who is our chairperson for Victorian Multicultural Commission, and I think Dr. Mohammad Mohideen is on the way most likely. I would also like to welcome our collaborators, which is the Bass Coast and Mornington Peninsula Cross Council Working Group, Life Saving Victoria, Aquatics and Recreation Victoria, Align Leisure, Enliven, Hemant Grover Foundation and Southeast Leisure. And a special thanks to our team from Royal Life Saving Australia, who are actually on the way, and I think their flight got delayed a bit, so they are not here, but Marty is here. If I am not wrong, and Stacey is coming. We have a big delegation of colleagues from Life Saving Victoria. We also have colleagues from several councils today: Cardinia Shire Council, KC Council, Mornington Peninsula Council, Bass Coast Shire, Whitehorse Council, and Bobber Shire Council. There is a big list of organizations that are here today. And last when I checked at about 12, I think we were expecting 58 organizations to come on a Monday afternoon, which is amazing and which speaks for our commitment to make drownings a history. So a big round of applause for all the organizations. We also have Aquatic Center representatives, I think 12 of them from all over Victoria, who are interested about this program, running this program and launching this program. Also a warm welcome to several cultures who are coming today, and the Chinese Community Council of Australia is here, Fijian Community Association, Ahmadiyya Muslim Association, Australian Tamil Sangam, Afghan Lee Association, United Cultural Support, United African Forum, and I think a colleague from Vietnam is Museum Australia was also planning to be here, but all of us, between us, we represent so many cultures and the cultural knowledge. And I would also like to thank our generous donors who have contributed to the Safely Engaging with Water program, and I would like to acknowledge the presence of Optus here, Bendigo Bank, top real estate agents, Cultureverse, VIP Physio, Polaron, and Beacon Hills College. So far, I think we have got about 91 participants who are here in the room, which is again a phenomenal success at the start of this event. And we have been also thank Queensland, Pakenham Gazette, SBS Hindi and SBS Punjabi, who have covered the story about this event already, Indian Sun and South Asia Times. And a big thanks to my team from Gurudwara Sri Guru Nanak Darbar, who has helped us organize this great event today. And a big round of applause for all of them. Special thanks to Aman's Photography, who is going to cover this event as a volunteer organization, volunteer business, and they are amazing. So make sure that you get some pictures done and share them on Facebook and social media. We have also received a few apologies. We have received apologies from Julian Hill, Emma Bulin, Mayor Jack Kowarsvik, and also from Belinda Wilson. And these apologies are primarily because both parliaments are meeting, I think, starting tomorrow. And again, a lot of councillors and councils wanted to send representatives today, but Monday is a busy day for them with important meetings in the evening. So I think, I would also like to acknowledge their, communication and best wishes that they have sent us today. Sincere apologies in case I have missed anyone. My memory is fading. I've got a small brain, just like my small height. But I think I have covered at least 98% of those who are here. Some housekeeping announcements. Please make sure that you look at the exit signs. One is right at the back and one is this side. Mobile phone usage, if you can put your phones on a silent mode, that would be appreciated, but you will be required to use your phone a few times. We will be doing some brainstorming activities. If you have any cultural questions, don't be shy, please feel free to ask me. All questions are good questions and they help us work together to make sure that our culture is understood. We will also be able to provide a cultural tour at the end of the program for those who are interested. Again, we are a small organization, just about 6 years old, minus 2.5 years lost to COVID. But I think, we have done a few events with the limited infrastructure that we have, and I hope you will enjoy the event today. We will be on YouTube Live as well, and there is a photography possibility as well during the snacks break as well as at the end of the session. If you don't want to come in pictures, please do let us know. Washrooms are on your left once you go out of the door that you came from, and let us know if you need any help. Again, we will start with a Mentimeter activity to make sure that you are not missing your phones. And I would request everyone to scan this QR code and tell us in very brief keywords what inspired or motivated you to come to today's event. we will talk about the messages coming through at some stage. The agenda is full on today. You can use free Wi-Fi, and if you want to, the code is on the screen. I would request everyone to keep their speeches brief so that we can get everyone a chance to share their most important feelings and observations about celebrating such an occasion and getting it together. Again, my time management is going to be on test today, and several of my friends who are a part of this group that are organizing this event will be observing me for my time management skills. So if you are going too much when you're talking with your long speech, then I will just wave you politely and that will be a time for you to thank me. Again, to make sure that the flow of the event is good, I had to breach some protocols, and I may not be following the right order to get dignitaries to speak, so apologies in advance for that. And I think that is broadly the background about the event. We will begin with some speeches from our dignitaries, and we will start with inviting Sheena Watt, our Parliamentary Secretary for Emergency Services. Sheena, welcome. Just a quick introduction. Sheena is here, I think, the third time, Sheena, is that right? And Sheena has supported us during the Voice to Parliament referendum to build awareness about why we need it, and awareness in the multicultural communities about First Nations people is not that good. So Sheena came here. Sheena also came and supported us in an event where we talked about what we can do as multicultural communities to abate climate change as well as adapt to the changing climate. And Sheena is now here to support us and talk to us about water safety and the need for it. So without further ado, I will pass on the floor to Sheena.
Thank you so much, Harpreet. It's such a joy to be out here again, and I'm glad you recalled all the instances that I've been out here because indeed they were special, but we forgot World Environment Day, where we planted some beautiful trees out back, and if anybody has had the good fortune of being here for World Environment Day, it is something truly very special. Thank you so much for starting your remarks by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land, and I too join with you in acknowledging the Bunurong and Wurundjeri peoples and pay my respects to their elders past and present, and acknowledge any other Aboriginal people that might be here today. It could just be me. I could have some fellow traveller from First Nations communities in here, and I say hello to you. Can I just say you did quite an exceptional job, Harpreet, with doing all the acknowledgements about who's here. I perhaps won't repeat them all if that's all right, but I will take a moment to acknowledge Dr. Viv Nguyen and Sushil Kumar. Now, the thing is, I was looking at my notes and it didn't speak to my most recent experience, which I just had the good fortune of sharing with Sushil, and I have just come back from India only a few weeks ago now, and it was my first ever trip, and it was in fact the first time I've travelled as a Member of Parliament, and when I was over there I went to the southern state of Kerala. It is surrounded by water. It is breathtaking. Absolutely breathtaking, and I remember looking out at the beaches in the middle of summer and thinking that if this was Australia, these beaches would be absolutely packed. Absolutely packed. This was the sort of place that needs to be on a places to visit, everyone needs to know about and everyone needs to see type list. And I asked a few locals, I said, how come you don't swim? And they just said that just no one here swims. It's not known to us. It's not part of what we do. And I was mostly really surprised about it because it's so breathtakingly beautiful. But then I remembered that I've spoken to Harpreet over the years now about learning to swim and how it is that when so many folks come over here from India that they too don't know how to swim, and to them it's like a great tragedy because the beaches here are just as beautiful as those in the south. And what had happened in recent years is folks have travelled to Australia taking on the beautiful opportunities of our beaches right around here, and unfortunately have lost their lives. And too many have lost their lives because they're seeing the signs on our beaches because they can be really dangerous places. It's not often known about what is a rip, how to identify a rip, how to get yourself safely out of one. And so that's why every drowning in anywhere in the world, but right here in our state, it's a tragedy because people come from all over the world to find home here. And when they come here to find home, sometimes their precious life is lost. And so can I just say that any drownings are a tragedy and one life lost is too many. And I know there's some folks that will be in the room today that are impacted by drowning, and can I just extend to you my sympathies. Can I also acknowledge the work of the Gurdwara Foundation. I heard about your works, I think it was perhaps last year at the Life Saving Victoria Forum on multicultural communities and learning to swim, and what I discovered there was a group of very determined, fierce volunteers working together with Life Saving Victoria and others to ensure that members of the multicultural communities know about what safety around the water looks like. And so to everyone that steps up as a volunteer in our community to keep our waterways safe, can I say to you thank you. To everyone who shares a message about watch out, read the signs, get on the app, learn what's going on before you step into that water, can I say to you thank you. Because the Victorian government, governments are going to be there patrolling the beaches. These are done by beautifully dedicated volunteers, and we as a government are entirely committed to water safety and of course drowning prevention. And on this day, can I acknowledge volunteers and thank you for the work that you do, and I too greatly value your role and the work that you've done for beaches. It's also other waterways. And the funding that's around to support initiatives so that folks feel more confidence in our water is so important, and so that's why I've been so pleased to work with Prit and others over the last little while to make sure that more communities can safely and confidently get in our water and enjoy the beauty of Victorian waterways. So thank you to each and every one of you for all that you do. And I now see that my colleague Gary Mars, the State Member for Narre South, has just arrived. So can I just take a moment to acknowledge you, Gary, and thank you so very much. I know that this is a really significant day and a lot of people put in a lot of effort to make today a success, and so to you I say thank you, and I hope that I take some of those reflections from my recent trip and use it to further, build my determination to drive water safety initiatives in our multicultural communities, because every drowning is a tragedy and one life lost is a loss too many. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Gary, for coming and for joining at the right time when we were about to announce the name for a short speech. And Gary Mars is our state member for Narre South. I think he has visited the Gurdwara more than some of our members in the last 6 years. He's a big supporter, and anytime I have some multicultural issue that I need help on, advice on, Gary is the person to call. So thank you, Gary, for everything that you do for the community and for the office at Gurudwara. It's great to have you, and I would request you to come and share some thoughts with us. Thank you.
I'd also like to acknowledge the fantastic work that Harpreet and the Gurdwara does for the community. What a role they play in terms of bringing people together and for breaking down barriers. And it's not just with whatever topic or whatever issue that the Gurdwara feels that that understanding should be greater in. You know, whether it is about swimming, or whether it is about reconciliation, or whether it is about our climate and what is happening. But these are all issues that this Gurdwara considers, and rather than educating its own people, it says, hey, why don't we bring everyone together? We'll bring them here and we'll broaden understanding across many faiths and many cultures. And it's an extraordinary thing, Harpreet. It really is. And I'm very grateful for that work that you do, and for any small part that our government can play in it. There are many dignitaries here today, and I'm sure that you've taken us through who everyone is, so there's no need for me to go through all those wonderful names again, but I'm seeing all of you here. And I know there's a massive list of people who are here. But I'm really pleased to be here for World Drowning Prevention Day. It's an important event which highlights the impact of drowning on families and on our communities, and considering the life-saving solutions to prevent it. And again, we need advocacy in this very important area. Many of us come from lands which are landlocked, and are not surrounded by the sea. And so it makes sense that when you come to Australia, you don't necessarily know how to swim, right? It just makes sense. It's not something that's innate within you, and it's just so simple, particularly for young people and older people, to learn how to swim. And it takes action from all of us, from government, local community leaders and individuals. And I'm just wrapped that there's so many representatives from different levels of government, including Casey Council and Cardinia Council, who are here today as well. And having that shared commitment that we all have, it means that we can also reflect on the tragic losses from drowning and think how we can work together to prevent future tragedies. At this point, I want to thank Victorian lifesavers who go above and beyond to protect the community and to save lives, and we're so grateful for their vital service. And our government will continue to invest in that and to help prevent that, but we also want to engage and we also want to be a part of the discussion. As a Member of Parliament for Narre Warren South in the City of Casey, we have a very vibrant and vibrant multicultural community, and we know many newly arrived migrants don't have that confidence yet to swim. And we know this means that people from those multicultural communities are at risk of drowning. We have beautiful beaches and we have a swimming culture in this country, and it's something everyone should be able to enjoy while understanding the risks and being properly educated on water safety. And what we're doing here, Harpreet, having something that's community-led and culturally appropriate, having that advocacy really is very important. I look forward to working through today, and I thank the Gurdwara for bringing everyone together and so that we can have these discussions and have some education throughout the whole day. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Gary. And now I would request our colleagues from Life Saving Victoria, Dr. Bernadette Matthews and Stacey Pigeon from Royal Life Saving Society. Stacey, are you here? That's great. Right time. Well done. Thank you. And we wanted to build a story so that everyone can understand what we are talking. So we thought we will start with where are we currently, and we will provide a national perspective very briefly from Stacey, who is the national manager at Royal Life Saving Society Australia, RLSSA, and also from Dr. Bernadette Matthews, who is the head of research at LSV, and they will give us some numbers. I will have to bring their slides on. Welcome, Stacey. Great to have you. The floor is yours. Thank you. Please.
Thank you very much, Harpreet, for the invitation to be here and to address you all. It's an absolute privilege to be here, so thank you very much. Harpreet actually joined us up in Sydney on Thursday for the National Water Safety Summit to tell everyone about the wonderful work going on here. So thank you, Harpreet. I know a lot of people were very impressed with the work going on here. I'm very briefly going to give you, I guess, a bit of a national overview of the numbers of drowning in Australia. And as Sheena mentioned earlier, one person who drowned is one too many. So I do want to acknowledge everyone who has lost their lives, but also their families and their communities who have lost a loved one to drowning. So in terms of who is drowning in Australia, this presents numbers over the last 10 years. So as you can see, there's over 2,500 people who have lost their lives to drowning across Australia and in Australian waterways. And that's beaches, rivers, lakes, swimming pools, and dams. So it's across the board. About 34% of those people were born overseas. So countries across the world who have now come and made their home here in Australia, and some people who may have been overseas visitors visiting Australia as well. Unfortunately, over 80% of those are men who lose their lives to drowning, and that's consistent for all of our drowning deaths, unfortunately. And then we've also got there a little bit of a graph of the countries of where people were born. And so you can see that's the top 10, I think, roughly. And so they're the numbers over the last 10 years. And we have seen those numbers increase slightly as well. So you can see people of all backgrounds, unfortunately all backgrounds, perhaps all religious backgrounds as well. Regardless, it doesn't matter. People are losing their lives to drowning. So very quickly, if we look at the age, there might be the perception that it could be young men, for example, when in fact we're seeing people of all ages drowning. And what may surprise you is particularly those of our older colleagues and peers and family members, quite a large number we're seeing drown in our waterways. And these could be grandparents looking after grandchildren, or it could be people who are trying to stay active and living active lives, maybe just don't have the skills that they used to around the water. So do keep that in mind. Again, drowning can happen to anyone at any age. And we're seeing a large number of people drown at beaches, rivers and creeks, and then in the ocean as well, while swimming, but also a lot of drowning happens when people don't intend to be in the water as well. So that's really important to know what to do in an emergency, not only when we're going swimming, but if something unexpected happens as well. One interesting thing our researchers showed us is that quite a few people who drown from multicultural backgrounds were new to Australia. So about just over a third of people who drown have been in Australia for less than 5 years. So that is something to think about, is how we best get those messages out there, how we either get people into swimming lessons or just start talking about it and raise the awareness, particularly if we are going to be visiting all our beautiful waterways, and then also swimming ability there as well. So that was a very, very quick overview. Thank you, Harpreet, for the invitation again. And I'd also like to add that reducing drowning among multicultural communities is a priority area for drowning prevention in the Australian Water Safety Strategy. And if you were interested in looking at that, the link is up there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stacey. I would request Dr. Bernadette to come and share the Victorian numbers and perspective and what we are doing. Welcome. Yes, I'll just put your slides. There we go. Thank you, Bernadette, please.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Harpreet, and thanks everyone. It's such an honour to be here today on behalf of Lifesaving Victoria. We do really value the partnership that we've had together over a number of years to prevent drowning. So Stacey has given a really good overview of what's happening from a national perspective with our multicultural communities and the tragic drownings that have occurred. I'm going to give a brief overview of the local perspective, so what's happening in Victoria and some of the key trends that we're seeing. So tragically in 2023-24 there were 21 fatal drownings of people who were born overseas. That represents 39% of the drowning statistics, and that's an overrepresentation of people from multicultural communities who are drowning in Australia. What we see is that people who are born overseas are 1.5 times more likely to drown. And what we're seeing, so some similarities with the national statistics, but also some differences as well. So to get an understanding of that, we are seeing similarly, the majority of incidents are involving males. Typically though, they're aged between 24 and 44 years of age. We are seeing most of the incidents occurring in our open waterways, particularly in beaches, rivers and lakes. And the types of activities we're seeing are swimming or wading in the water, also fishing related activities, and that might be rock fishing, and we're seeing an increase of activities of people going abalone fishing as well. We are seeing that the majority of people are residents of metropolitan areas in Victoria. We're also seeing a number of incidents involving alcohol or drug use, and particularly we're seeing people with weak or who are non-swimmers. So what are we doing about it? As I said, we're thrilled to be working together with local communities to prevent drowning. A number of you may have met my colleague here today, Ramsey, who delivers our swimming and water safety programs, but we also partner with different communities so that we can reach as many people as possible. We reach over 20,000 participants on average annually in Victoria, and you can see here that we have, we're really focused on multicultural pathways. So the water has so many benefits, and you know, we're focusing today on the lives lost to drowning, but we do know that swimming and actively recreating around water has so many benefits, and we want to also focus on that. And there are many opportunities that can be provided to people through recreating and aquatic recreation. So you can see here down the bottom are our participants in some of our classroom and beach education sessions, and then moving right through to a number of people go on to do swimming courses, become swim teachers, go on to do other training programs, and then end up working in the industry as well. And we've even had some people who have gone on to work in the emergency services such as Ambulance Victoria. So to look at some of the positives that can come out of this sort of thing, and so we're really pleased to see the Multicultural Pathways program in Victoria. So thank you very much again for having me here today, and we really appreciate the ongoing partnership. Thank you.
Thank you, Bernadette and Stacey. Could I please request now Viv Nguyen, our chairperson of the Victorian Multicultural Commission, to talk about the multicultural perspective with drowning. And Viv is a great friend of the Gurdwara. Again, I mean, I've approached her several times, got guidance several times, and I'm honored that, you know, she's just a phone call away whenever, you know, I need any help. Viv, welcome. Thank you. Please.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of this land on which we are gathered and pay my respect to the elders past and present, and acknowledge Sheena Wat, the first ever Yora woman in the Victorian Labor government. Thank you. Yeah, round of applause. I also acknowledge Gary Bass, State Member for Narra South, all of the councillors from Cardinia Shire Council, Bass Coast Council and KC Council. And I acknowledge Harpreet and the executive member team of this Gurdwara and all of the volunteers in this organisation. And importantly, I acknowledge Dr. Sushil Kumar, the Consul General for India, and all of the community organisations, leaders, volunteers, service providers who've made the time to come here to talk about the World Drowning Prevention Day today here at this Gurdwara. We have heard a lot from the experts, our members, our elected members, about the importance of making sure multicultural community members understand the rules around waterways and be able to participate in water activities that are so important and beneficial to our health, to our lives, and to our mental health and well-being, and also to family life and community life as well. But the one thing that I would like to point out today is the importance of the support from multicultural faith communities in coming together, and with your leadership, Harpreet, bringing communities together, one, to be made aware of what one another does, and two, to support. And you saw the list of organisations from multicultural and faith communities. You saw the list from the multicultural ethnic media, and you saw the presence of our community leaders here today. That sort of collaboration and partnership is very important for us in order for us to sustain and defend our multicultural society here in Victoria. And it is worth defending because we are very diverse. We need to find ways to coexist and not just to coexist, but to live, to thrive, and to support each other thrive in this wonderful state called Victoria. So I thank you, Harpreet, and the officer Gurdwara, and the leadership team, the volunteers, for bringing everybody together, and I thank you for supporting this important initiative and many other initiatives that are taking place around multicultural and faith communities. Thank you very much.
I would like to now invite Dr. Sushil Kumar, Consul General of India in Melbourne. Dr. Sushil Kumar is amazing, is all I can say. If I send a message to my wife, I get a response in 24 hours. If I send a message to Dr. Sushil Kumar, I get a response in 2 hours. So I think that's an amazing introduction for what Sushil Kumar has been doing in Australia and building bridges between the Indian community and the Australian community and the multicultural communities. Welcome, Dr. Sushil Kumar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Harpreet ji. You have been a great support to me as well as to the consulate since I arrived 3 years back here. Thank you so much for all the good works you are doing. Very good afternoon to all of you. Namaskar, Sat Sri Akal. I would also like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we have gathered here today and pay my respect to their elders, past, present and emerging. I would also like to acknowledge Honorable Sinawat, Honorable Gary Moss, Member of Parliament, all the councillors, my good friend, Commissioner, Victoria Multicultural Commission, members from Royal Life Saving Australia and Life Saving Victoria, respected community leaders, representatives from various multicultural community, ladies and gentlemen. It is a privilege for me to join today here at this sacred place, Sri Guru Nanak Darbar, on such an important occasion to mark World Drowning Prevention Day. It is an important opportunity for all of us to raise awareness, promote safety and protect lives, particularly in our multicultural community. Let me begin by acknowledging the efforts of the Gurudwara Sahib committee here. Life Saving Victoria, community volunteers who have come together to address a very real and urgent issue. The rising number of drowning incidents, especially among members of the multicultural migrant community. I have been here as Consul General, and consulates as provider of the consular services, we have to be active 24/7. So I remember last year in January when there were drowning deaths at Phillip Island, and I had to travel one day prior to the celebration of Australia Day and the Indian Republic Day, and we were all trying to assist the community leaders and family back in India during those difficult times. Every year, thousands of lives are lost globally due to drowning, many of them preventable. Victoria and Australia as a whole, it has beautiful coastlines, rivers and pools, but these waters demand respect and awareness. Unfortunately, we have seen a disturbing rise in drowning cases involving international students, recent migrants and young members of our Indian community due to lack of familiarity with aquatic environments, limited swimming skills and unawareness of local conditions or safety protocols. Consulate in last 1 year has associated with international study Melbourne as well as Life Saving Victoria, Victoria Police to create awareness amongst the international students in different universities, campuses. So that's why today's program is very important. Prevention begins with education and empowerment. I commend Gurudwara Sri Guru Nanak Darbar for taking this initiative and bringing all the stakeholders and multicultural communities here for this wonderful initiative to create awareness and educate the community. It is true to the Sikh ethos of Seva and Sarbat Da Bhala, service and well-being for all. And I would like to appreciate my friend Dr. Harpreet Ji. He has been taking this contemporary issue. He has organized this sort of workshop and awareness program on global climate change, tree plantation ceremony you have. So I would like to thank you and wish you all the best for your future endeavors. Consulate will always come forward to support you for your good work. Thank you, Dr. Harpreet.
The role of local government in making drownings a history. I would request our Deputy Mayor, Cardinia Shire Council, Councillor Alana Pomeroy, and to come and make a brief speech, but she will also be joined by Councillor Matt Morgan from Past Coast Council and Councillor Anthony Walter from the KC Council, who will be basically, reiterating what Alana and others have to say. Please, welcome. Thank you.
Good afternoon all. What a turnout. If only every meeting could start with a shared meal amongst community. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land and pay my respects to First Nations peoples here today. I'd also like to acknowledge those impacted by drowning incidents, families, first responders, emergency services. The ripple effects are immense. A heartfelt thank you to Harpreet and the Gurdwara for your continued leadership in a range of issues, but especially this one. The incredible work you do to bring our community together is really evident here today. And when you said there were 58 organisations, that blew me away. And then we look at what the work you've done to make sure the programs go ahead and sponsorship of another 20 organisations. So thank you for leading in this space. Water safety is a joint partnership, and we know that the best solutions are co-designed. I'm joined by Councillor Matt Morgan from Bass Coast Shire and Councillor Anthony Walter from Casey Council. Mornington Peninsula Shire are also a part of the partnership, and we note an apology from their Mayor Anthony Marsh, who can't be with us today, but there are a number of his team here. Across our regions, we continue to see the devastating impact of drownings. They aren't just statistics, but the statistics shared are super frightening. They are families shattered, futures lost far too soon. And this isn't just a problem for our coastal communities, and I think this is why Casey and Cardinia are so invested in this. It's people from our regions that are going across to the coast, and we all must work together, regardless of where we are and whether we have a beach. So local government has a real critical role to play, and I'll just pass to Anthony on this one.
So, in that segue, local government does play a vital role in drowning prevention, especially in diverse, populated, and multinational communities such as ours. Myself, I am multinational, as you can probably hear in my voice. I'm originally from the United States, so I was really shocked to see that there were 28 US drownings, because we're a very swim-conscious country as well. So if US people can drown, anyone can. And also, working closely with swim centers, schools, and multicultural community groups, we can help break down barriers to water safety. We can ensure swimming programs are not just available, but accessible and welcoming to all.
Thank you. We must do more. We need to continue to push for programs that are accessible and culturally sensitive. We need sustainable funding, and we need to keep having these conversations, because this is about more than swimming. It's about saving lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, councillors, for your kind words and reiterating the message, that the message is same all across Australia, all across shires, and given that all shires are becoming more and more multicultural. I would now like to invite Kathy Parton, the CEO of Aquatics and Recreation Victoria. The idea of this event was actually, evolved or got its birth in a meeting that I had with Kathy and an individual meeting that I had with Life Saving Victoria. From that day, when we thought about the event, I got immense support from Kathy and David Holland, who is not here from Life Saving Victoria today. He's enjoying Japan, I believe. But thanks a lot, Kathy, for your support, and we look forward to your speech.
Thank you, Harpreet. Wonderful to see you all here today, and it has been a pleasure to work so closely with Harpreet on this key issue. So what he's asked me to talk about today is actually what does and can aquatic facilities do to support drowning prevention. And I'd probably be the first to say, and I'm sure Life Saving Victoria would be too, that our industry has a strong commitment to drowning prevention and has a whole range of best practice strategies that they have put in place that I'm going to talk about with you. So firstly, I just want to explain to you what makes up the Victorian aquatics industry. So facilities are spread right across Victoria, in regional Victoria, in metro Melbourne, indoor and outdoor aquatic facilities. There's approximately 582 publicly owned aquatic facilities, and they are owned by and managed by Learn to Swim organisations, local governments, schools, universities, private organisations and so on. And I'm pleased to say that you would have seen in Bernadette's stats before that there have not been any fatal drownings in aquatic facilities over the last year. And I think, that is due to what I'm about to talk about, which is the best practice strategies that we use within this industry. And there's probably 9 that I'm going to quickly share with you. The first is our adherence to the GSPOs, which is the short acronym for Guidelines for Safe Pool Operations. They're the specifications and recommendations that facilities use to support the design and operations of their facilities. Secondly, is supervision and aquatics training that is provided to the workforces right across Victoria. Policies, budget commitments put in place to ensure that the staff that are working in these facilities are well versed and trained. Thirdly, the support of statewide drowning prevention programs. An example of that is the Watch Around Water program. Fourthly, aquatics education and Learn to Swim programs. And I'd have to say, post-COVID, when we were all released to go back to facilities, Learn to Swim programs were the #1 service that people re-engaged with their facilities to patronise. Facility design, number 5, facility design and risk management. Facilities put in place many practices to ensure entry points, depths, are all able to be in place to ensure no drownings, and risk assessments and audits too. Sixthly, community engagement and awareness campaigns. So many facilities are very active in engaging with their communities, and particularly around Water Safety Week. People across the industry do a lot of practices at that time. 7th, emergency responses and drills. So each of the facilities tends to have an emergency action plan that they put in place and run across the year emergency responses. 8th, inclusion and diverse community programs. So Harpreet's program is starting to grow across the Victorian community, and ARV is particularly wanting to promote that program, but facilities and facility managers do run a lot of culturally diverse Learn to Swim programs. And lastly, reporting and incident tracking. So there's many processes and systems that facilities use to document, monitor and manage all events, accidents, near misses and any safety related issues across that occur within aquatic environments. So you can see there's a lot already happening right across our industry, and there's a lot more that can be done. Certainly at ARV, we want to focus on building the awareness and capability of the Victorian workforce, and we advocate to government for support and acknowledgement, and we'll continue to promote best practices and so on. So many people have already said it, but there's no question collaborations and partnerships are the way forward. So we look forward to continuing to work with Harpreet and everyone else who's been part of today. So thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for your kind words. Kathy, we are going to do my quick presentation for about 5-7 minutes on the program that we have.
Yes.
And we will now also invite our panelists to come and have a seat here from our next panel discussion session. So I would request Paula Smith from Aligned Leisure Cardenia, Jake De Silva from Southeast Leisure, Natasha Van der Hayden from Active Manningham, Lyndall Blackman from Casey Leisure, Nick Grant Collins from Bass Coast and Mornington Peninsula Working Group to come and join us on the panel. If we need an extra chair, we will provide you the chair. I think in interest of time, I'm going to keep my presentation about our program really brief. Because most of you are aware of my program, and we have talked about our program. The presentation has been designed by myself and my colleague Dr. Randeep Saini, and you will see all of the things that we do are in-house. I think our program was essentially focusing on getting everyone along, and we did not want to compete with the existing programs. We did not want to say that the program is only for the Sikh community. This program is for everyone who wants to learn swimming. And again, we want to acknowledge that our program is a co-learning exercise. The program was launched around this time last year when we had several dignitaries who came to launch the program. We tried to find out that there is what is happening on the ground, and we thought that information from multicultural communities was not coming about why they don't want to learn swimming. And when we delved into that information, we found that costs were prohibiting people from learning swimming. And I think most of the programs were focusing on making people swim. We thought we should create a program where we can make a connection between communities and water. The current programs are essentially for children and youth. Those programs, some of the programs are free, and when you have free programs, people drop out, and these were some of the observations. We wanted to create a program that could be self-sustaining, and we also wanted to see if there is an economic opportunity in doing our model of the program. And we started with a big vision. We wanted to make drownings a history. We wanted to connect people with water. We wanted to offer a program where the people own the program as well, rather than just attending the program free of cost. And we wanted to bring the fun element as well, because water is all about fun. And we wanted people to understand that if they can learn swimming, they can enjoy their holidays. And they will not be just clicking selfies on beaches, they will be getting into the water and enjoying water. We created a model which we very proudly call 1:1:1 model. And the program is called obviously the Safely Engaging with Water program. And for a program of 10 weeks, 30-minute sessions, about $300 is required. So what we said is $100 will be paid by the participant upfront so that they commit to the program, and we have seen very good engagement rates because of that. Another $100 was subsidized by the swim center who decided to be a part of the program, and the other remaining $100 for that participant was contributed by the officer Gurdwara through collections from several of our supporters and local businesses. And within about 3 weeks, we collected $24,000 to run the program. And very proudly, I must tell you now that we have, I think, about 226 people who have completed the program in the last 1 year. This slide is on the journey of the program. I will not get into this, but what we did is we made the participants as our role models. So once they graduate, we get them to make a picture, share it with their community, tell the community that if I can learn swimming, why can't you learn swimming? And that's how, more people have started joining the program. And we have created flyers to put the message about the program, and these are flyers from Cardinia and from Manningham. But again, 2 more centers are going to launch this program shortly, and their flyers are also up on the screen. And currently the program is running in Cardinia, Casey, Manningham and Dandenong councils, but there is a keen interest from the Wyndham Council, Whitehorse Council and Bobershire councils as well. Now, I have already said that 226 people in Victoria, but there's a lot of national interest coming as well, with this program being talked about on SPS Hindi and SPS Punjabi as well. Females are leading the program, so we are finding that females are becoming great role models because they want to keep their families safe. That is amazing. And again, if you want to talk about rolling out the program in your suburb or in your swim center, I would be happy to have a chat. We got massive media coverage, and we made sure that media is made a partner in the journey. We got not only the mainstream media but also the ethnic media, and we have our wonderful friend here, Indira, who has covered a very good story on the program and its relevance for the multicultural communities. We have got the program acknowledged in the state parliament, in the federal parliament. We have a big dream on how we can go ahead with the program, and again, if I start talking about it, then we will be here for dinner, so I will just skip this slide, but happy to talk to you during the breaks and after the session. There is a big economic opportunity in something like this. If you have 5.1 million people in Melbourne, and if 40% of them are adult, and of those 40% adults, 40% are of multicultural background. If you do those numbers, maybe there are about 650,000 people who can learn swimming, and if you can get about 200,000 people started in next 2 or 3 years, that will be a lot of revenue, a lot of jobs for our swim centers. And we want to continue with our top-down and bottoms-up approach. We want to measure the impacts using indicators. We want to document the stories of participants. The stories of people who have missed a drowning incident are not covered, and I think they can be very good stories to motivate people to learn swimming. So we are happy to work with all organizations to document such near-miss incidents. Many thanks to my colleagues and the participating organizations, because of which this program has become really amazing. I just wanted to add, and I've lost my notes somewhere, I think. I just wanted to tell you that this is a grassroots initiative. This is done by volunteers, so we do not have a staff member to be running this program. And we are just 1 year old, and we acknowledge that we are learning, and that's why we want to collaborate with all of you to make this bigger and better. I think that's broadly what I wanted to cover in my talk, and I will pass it on to Kathy to do the panel discussion session whenever you're ready, Kathy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do we have a microphone for the
Yeah, we have.
Yes, we are going to move into a short panel discussion. So each of the people on the panel, I'm going to get them to introduce themselves and where they're from, but they are all facilities that are running this program, and have got that experience. So perhaps we'll start at the end, if you introduce yourself and the organisation you work for and the facility that you are running the program.
I'm Lyndall Blackman. I work for KC Leisure. I'm the Programs Manager. So we run the program through KC Arc and KC Race. We started the program last year at KC Race. We sort of was the last sort of term 3, term 4 program. We had 16 graduate from it. We then picked up the program and tried it as a pilot program for KC Arc as well. So we had the 2 KC Arc and KC Race running both programs. It's been very successful. It's probably more, it's not just about learning to swim, it's more about water awareness, safety awareness around water. We probably realised going into the program that we had to look at our ratios. Our normal learn to swim ratio is about 1 to 6. With this group of people, we had to change our ratios. We had to change the way we sort of taught around what's around water and the safety about around water. So it's been a journey, it's been a learning journey, and we continue to learn.
Great, and we are going to answer more questions, so perhaps just introduce yourself and where you're
from. My name is Natasha, so I'm at Active Manningham, so Aqua Arena is our centre in Doncaster. So we've been running the Safe Engaging with Water program since the start of this year. We've run 2 rounds. We've had 33 graduate so far, which is fantastic. An interesting statistic is that 30 of those 33 were female, so not as much male participation. So that's something that we're starting to focus on more as we're starting our 3rd round and continuing on.
Excellent.
Great. I'm Jake De Silva from South East Leisure, so my role is a General Manager of Commercial and Community Partnerships. So we manage 4 facilities within City of Great Dandenong, but Noble Park Aquatic Centre in Dandenong Oasis, and we run the program at Dandenong Oasis, have been doing so for about a year now. Similar to the others, seeing great growth throughout that time.
Hi everyone, Nick Collins from Bass Coast Shire Council, and I'm representing the Cross Council Water Safety Working Group, and so that's Bass Coast, Mornington Peninsula, Casey, Cardinia, and Dandenong, and so bringing together essentially around this fundamental insight that if we want to improve safety at our beaches, we need to partner with local community leaders like Hartford, Life Saving Victoria, and our inner councils to do comms better, to do programs like this better, and so providing local government perspective.
Good afternoon everyone, I'm Paula and I'm at Cardinia Life in Pakenham, and very fortunate to have been involved in the launch of the program, which was very exciting, and to see some familiar faces here today from the launch of that program, and Harpreet's involvement, the way the community took the program when we first launched it, the excitement, the nerves, the apprehensions when they first entered the water was amazing, and it continues to be a really, really good program with significant impact into our community. And I'm really still absolutely thrilled to be involved in such a great initiative.
Fabulous. Question for you all. So you've started talking a little bit about your implementation, so, but firstly, if you can share with everyone what inspired you to take this on? What inspired you to run this program in your region, in your centre, in your local government area? That starts.
Okay, I'm happy to start. I think initially for us it was a little bit of an informal catch-up with Harpreet and my leisure manager, Paige, who unfortunately is not with us here today. It was an informal discussion with a lot of enthusiasm, and can we make this happen? And with a bit of effort and a bit of passion for the importance of this program, seeing our local community being involved in the aquatics industry and seeing those drowning stats quite regularly, working very closely with Life Saving Victoria. We do run Life Saving Victoria Swim Survival program at our facility, and so we're quite involved in what's happening out there in our community, and the fact that our community is becoming very multicultural. We need to keep up with it. We need to make sure we're keeping everybody safe.
So we're from City of Great Dandenong, so we're, if not the most multicultural one of in municipalities in Australia. So we're constantly looking for ways that we can get new people into our facilities. We know that a very small percentage of people actually use our facilities that live in the municipality, so we're constantly looking for new ways to do that. We found the program was really simple in design, and I think that was one of the things that really attracted us. We could see we could roll it out pretty quickly and efficiently, and probably the really big element of it was the sustainability of the program. So Harpreet talks to the one-to-one funding. Initially it was sort of 50-50, and that's due to Harpreet's great work that's been able to grow. But that for us was a really, really important element, because we didn't want to do something that we could run for one term and then it just disappeared, and that's been a real success of the program.
Great comment. Any other reasons for inspiration?
I guess very similar to everyone else, that Manningham is a very multicultural community, but we've been looking for a program to run to specifically target multicultural communities, educating them on water safety, and then Paula was someone who, I heard that the Safely Engaging with Water program was going really well, and we essentially ran with that as well. So we got in contact with Harpreet and essentially copied what Cardinia were doing already.
We were probably about the same,
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to share about the implementation of the program? Anything that you can enlighten us around how that's going, challenges, successes, and so on?
Yeah, I'm happy to. I think a really important thing for us was to have a person who was really invested in driving it. So we've had the same instructor, Jo, run it. Well, we've had a few other instructors, but she was a real leader in it and really was passionate about it. And I think when you've got that, you're naturally going to see these programs succeed. And that's probably the biggest thing from our end, was make sure we had the right person driving it.
Good one. Anything else on implementation? Paula?
I think it was the learnings that we've had along the way. So a lot of our normal mainstream adult classes run in our 25-metre pool. We don't have the deepest pool, but it is still slightly cool. It's definitely a lap swimming pool, and we found that some of our participants benefited from swimming, or at least starting their program in our warmer program pool. It is a little bit shallower in the shallow end of the pool and gradually becomes deeper, but you do find that the warmer water tends to calm some of the nerves, particularly when it's your first time entering the water. And being very mindful that for a lot of our participants that was the case. Just sitting on the wall was an achievement. You want me to put my eyes in and blow bubbles? Really? This water's cold. So we did transition into our program pool, and then with feedback from the group, which we get after every session and also from our swim teachers involved, we were able to move some across to 25-metre pool. We take them across there to do PFDs or life jackets, which again is a significant part of the program, because that's what they're going to be wearing when they, hopefully, if they go on a boat or they go paddleboarding or kayaking or some other activity in our waterways, being able to expose them to a PFD or life jacket is a key component of their water safety. But just swapping where we traditionally would have taught our adult classes into the program pool was quite significant, and then gradually across to the 25-metre pool. And just having really, really good teachers who share the passion. Our ladies teacher, her name is Donna, and she's been with us teaching it since the launch, and she features on a lot of Harpreet's photos and slides, and and she's still equally passionate about it, as is our men's teacher. So they've been key in making this program a success so far.
Fabulous. And I've got a special question for you, Nick. You are a demonstration of a local government who has collaborated with others, so I think there's 5 local governments in your partnership, which is quite extraordinary and leading the way, certainly. So the question to you is, how do you think others can get swim centres, local governments to join together to collaborate in implementing programs like this?
Yeah, thanks so much. And this partnership really was born out of acknowledging that there were some real challenges around beach safety, and that we needed essentially to have the geography and our partnership shaped by the problem itself, right? So this partnership crosses emergency management regions, right? Southern Metro and Gippsland coming together. And so a bit of new thinking. So I think there's a lot of innovation happening in beach safety right now. It was great to see this program in the national spotlight in Sydney last week, and a few of us were up there. So I think as government, we can really push these innovative community-led programs, and I think prove the model and really let our partnerships, local government in some ways is so great at working together, but in some ways can be bound by these traditional ways that we do it. And I think beach safety, among others, has been a way to push that a bit, really partner with the research leads and let the data shape our next direction.
Excellent. All right, last two. Do any of you have any thoughts about how you might improve your programs? Any sort of new thoughts about either how to scale it up, its effectiveness, or how to improve the overall program looking forward?
I think finding more community ambassadors, so whether that's previous participants, that's probably how to get more participation. What we're finding at the moment is we're getting a lot of friend and family referrals. So previous participants are referring their friends to do the program the next round, and then we're also getting like wives who have done it and they're recommending their husbands now to do it, and that's how we're getting more male participation. So that's a really positive, but I guess it's just trying to do that on a larger scale.
I also think once the participants graduate from the program, you sort of want to keep them within the adult Learn to Swim program. So we're sort of transitioning them across from Harpreet's program into our own Learn to Swim adult program, so they're beginner, intermediate, or advanced.
Excellent.
Yeah, encouraging their children then to learn to swim.
Yeah, that's something we've probably noticed after the first, first term or two as well, was how do we better transition across, and it was actually a really high percentage that do transition across, which is great, but I think to continue on the improvement, one thing we've just implemented, which I really want to double down on, is we get so a lot of our memberships are so health and fitness, a gym and pool, and a lot of people are, well, I don't know how to swim. And so it's a really great barrier, a really great thing to them to see extra value in their membership is, well, come along, here's a really cost-effective way for us to introduce the pool to you. And that was actually one of our membership team that had that idea, and we implemented it, and it's been a really great success where probably the majority of our people are coming from now. So yeah, just thinking that a bit differently, and also just continuing to connect with different community groups with that lead-in time. Yeah. If they've got the lead-in time, then we're filling in our spots really easily and putting on additional classes. So yeah, it's just probably being a bit more planned in execution.
We've got a final question, which is if you'd like to just share with us some insights you've got to intangible outcomes or broader impacts you've noticed from running this program, that perhaps not happening in the pool, perhaps more broadly, anything you're picking up?
The one thing I have noticed is the mum or the dad or the parents have both joined, and then if it's Mum's day to be swimming, you will find that dad will either come at the same time with the children or come when Mum has finished swimming and they get into the pool as a family. And that's been really, really good to see because, for some of our participants, they haven't even been to that pool before, and it fills you with apprehension if you're going to do something outside of your comfort zone. And now it's encouraging them to come as a family and to keep that growing and to see those familiar faces in the pool. Some of our lady swimmers we were running the program in the afternoon for them, and on feedback they wanted to shift it to the morning, which is what we're currently doing. But then sometimes they're still in the pool 3 hours later, which is really positive and really good to see. And I think we can keep growing on that community spirit and bringing more and more families in to do something that's not only life-saving but healthy and really good exercise for them.
Great. Anything else?
Yeah, from Aaron, it's that overwhelming, it's one we hear all the time is, I've never been in the water and now I can swim, or I feel safe enough to bring my kids. That's a big one that we hear, and Harpreet came once and we heard one of the stories from one of the ladies, and she was saying, my kid wants to go to the pool all the time, and I just had the confidence to take them, and now I do. And so, you stop and you think and you go, what does that mean when that child has children, they're not going to experience that. So I think that's the real, that's the why we do it sort of moment. So yeah, we get lots of that, which is awesome.
You don't know.
No, it's all right. So one thing that I noticed is our swim teachers will often stay back and have just a chat to the participants after their classes. And one gentleman in particular, he's a senior gentleman. I think it just gave him an opportunity to connect with someone outside of home, so someone in the community. So yes, learning to swim was fantastic, but it was just someone who he could spend time with and just have a conversation with. And I think that's a big part of it as well, is providing that opportunity to talk to someone.
Wonderful. Well, you've heard from 5 fabulous people who are really demonstrating a testament to the value of this program and the impact of this program. So please join me in thanking Paula, Jake, Natasha, Linda.
Thank you, everyone. Another Mentimeter activities on the screen, guys. Please, if you can scan the QR code and answer this for us, please. And we will be taking a break for tea, but again during the tea break, if you want to ask me any questions, or the participating swim centers any questions, feel free to do that. A PDF of my presentation and a PDF of the data presented by RLSSA and LSP, we can share that with you. But again, the tea break is not just about food for tummy. We make delicious things, but it's also an opportunity for food for thought, guys. So let's try to network and come back in about 25 minutes and do the next part of our meetings today and gathering today. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Kathy must be happy that we are starting in time. Kathy? Friends, I requested all of you to maybe participate in giving us some feedback on what inspired you or motivated you to join today's event. Also, who do you think are your key stakeholders, my key stakeholders to make drownings a history? I will try to pull up my results in a few minutes. And I just wanted to quickly tell you that in the session after our snacks, we basically wanted to ask you for any suggestions you have so that we can enhance such program offerings and spread the word to the multicultural communities. So feel free to chip in your thoughts here. I'm now going to introduce you to a role model, Sandeep. Thank you for coming. I think a big round of applause for Sandeep. And I will give you all the background. Sandeep is a resident in KC, and last year, towards the end of, I think, March, Sandeep's family went through a very tragic incident in Gold Coast. For those who follow media and the drowning incidents, Sandeep lost her husband and her father-in-law to a drowning incident. Both gentlemen were trying to save their child, her daughter, who fell in a swimming pool in Gold Coast. And at that point of time, my community said we need to do something about it, and Randeep in particular was after me, Harpreet, we have to do something around this and let's work together, and that's how we got into this action. We organized a special prayer for Sandeep's father-in-law and for her husband at the Gurdwara. But on top of that, we launched this program, and when we met Sandeep, she took up our offer to become a role model in the community, and she has learned swimming for 10 weeks at KC. So I think this is the kind of role models that we need, and I think she deserves a big round of applause. And I think it's a very emotional thing for her to, agree to come here and talk to all of us. But on my request, and she's kind of God's sister to me now, she said she's going to come and talk. So I would request Sandeep to share her experience with us. Sandeep, thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Sandeep. As Harpreet told you, like what I'm going through last year, I didn't stop myself there. I stand up for my daughters. I have two beautiful daughters, 9 and age of 4. And responsibility of my mother-in-law on me as well. So I start studying. I'm doing Diploma of Community Services right now, learning swimming, working as a real estate agent, and trying to be part of community as a role model. If somebody can learn from me one thing, it's like I feel like my husband will be happy somewhere. So that's my motive at the moment, and be a role model for all community, not just for my daughters. Thank you.
Sandeep, though she has finished 10 weeks of learning at KC, is it KCR? Race KC, and she is very keen to start and continue her journey and learn for another 10 weeks. And again, she's very well connected in the community, and I think we really need to find such role models. And thanks once again, Sandeep, for coming and sharing your thoughts. Thank you. At this stage, we want Harmeet to come here, and we will start doing some brainstorming, and again we will be using the live polling Mentimeter, so please keep your devices on. We want to really ask you a few questions. Please be very brief, just answer with 1 or 2 keywords. I have about 4 questions which Harmeet is going to ask all of you. And the idea is that some of the knowledge that is created here can be then taken back to stakeholders. And again, if you want these Mentimeter polls to be forwarded to you, you can use those links and get other stakeholders to answer them. Harmeet is my sister. I often don't say that because there could be a conflict of interest. But Harmeet is also, she works on impact, assessing impacts of projects. She works on several CSIRO funded projects and CSIRO research. And she kindly agreed at a short notice to run this session. Thank you, Harmeet. Welcome.
I think the best introduction for me is I'm Harpreet's sister, because everyone knows him. And thank you everyone for being here today. Thank you Sandeep for sharing your story, it was wonderful. So yes, coming back to our Mentimeter activity, what are the 2 initiatives you would like to pursue over the next year related to water safety? Once again, please provide some keywords in your responses.
At this stage, I will just pull out what thoughts we have gathered via Mentimeter and quickly share these with you, starting with the first 2. And hopefully we will have the next one ready, but Harmeet, maybe you can introduce the next question and then we can deliberate on the first 2.
Second question is, what are the 2 key goals we should aim to achieve over the next 3 years? Once again, keywords please. What are the 2 key goals we should aim to achieve over the next 3 years?
Okay, I think let's look at first of all some of the results that have come through the first question that we had. What inspired or motivated you to attend today's event? So I think the resolution has got affected because of my copy pasting, but multicultural growth, awareness of drowning, supporting connections, hearing from partners, collaboration, prevention, safety, community, inclusion, connecting, and I think these are very good messages and very strong, powerful messages that inspired all of you to come and attend the event today. So thanks a lot for that. The next one is, who are the key stakeholders? Now this is very interesting, and I think all of us should spend a minute to have a look at this. Migrants,
community groups, schools. Now, that's a very interesting thing actually. I always believe that child is the father of man. Now we have Brody here from Beacons Hill College. Brody, are you still here? Yes, thank you. And now I wrote to a few schools inviting them to this event, and Brody looked at my email and she said she's going to come, and during the snacks break she said yes, I mean we have a lot of multicultural students and we can actually ask them to motivate their parents to learn swimming, and that is something, you know, that we can give a shot at, give a crack, and I think that's how we can get a lot of people to the pool. My daughter is here, and when I'm in the pool with her, even though, you know, I'm a horrible swimmer, you know, she really enjoys with me simply because she thinks that I'm away from devices and I'm spending a quality time with her. So I mean, we really need to look for some of these connections and understand who are our stakeholders, and I think, you know, it's not a one person's mission, it's not the mission of one or two organizations to make drowning a history. I think it's everyone's responsibility. And we also need to appreciate the fact that the multicultural communities come from landlocked countries. The multicultural communities in Australia have migrated from countries who are very water stressed, and I often crack this joke. If everyone in India would know how to swim, or would start learning swimming, India will run out of water. Because India is a water stressed country, you know, in the industry is fighting with agriculture, the agriculture is fighting with the communities, the poor are fighting with the rich so that they can get access to basic water and sanitation. So I mean the problem, the background is quite different. But again, I mean all of these things need to be understood when we are understanding our stakeholders, and I am happy to share these slides with everyone who is on the mailing list, and we can further deliberate this. With this, I think I will get Harmeet to talk about the first question that she asked, which is about what do we want to do in the next 1 year. Is that right, Harmeet? Now, I don't know how to take this in a presentation mode. Ambikaji, do you have any idea? F11? F11. Okay, thank you. It's not still very clear. Close this. Has it got any better? Yes, it has. Can we magnify this? Oh, good. Thank you. You are a champion. What do we want to do in the next 1 year? Harmeet, do you want to facilitate this discussion?
So we have a lot of interesting responses. Number one, of course, learning swimming. That's for me. Support water program. Doing an ocean swim. Swimming at the pool. Support water literacy. Community champions. Share to my networks. Multicultural workforce. Information campaign. Translation services. Teach swimming to my kid. So there are lots and lots of interesting responses.
Good. I was really interested about this one, which says tag another one, and that's a role model approach where, you know, I learn swimming and then I motivate someone to learn swimming. Now I have a family of a few relatives and friends here, and I have tried my best to motivate some of them. The success rate has been about 33%, but it's not bad because in terms of numbers it translates to about 10-12 people who have learned or tried to learn swimming because I have been, you know, bothering them all the time. Sharing to my networks, innovative grants, multicultural programming, scale up this program, multilingual awareness, empowering. And on the empowerment thing, you know, I just wanted to share this experience with me that I've spoken with a few women from our communities who have learned swimming. And I must very proudly say that out of the 226 people who have learned swimming, I think about 70% of them are women who are learning swimming for the sake of safety of their family. So that's a very good example of women empowerment, and I really want to see whether we can offer such program to women who have experienced domestic violence, and see how they learn this program and how they can actually learn new skills and gain confidence. A lot of females I've spoken to, they have been very, very upfront that learning a program like this have actually given them a lot of confidence to learn new skills in this changing world. So that is something that is very interesting. Sorry guys, I am on leave today. And the other question that Harmeet asked was, I can't without your help. Yeah. Okay, let's jump to the other question, guys, which is question number B. Yeah. What are the two goals we wish to achieve over the next 3 years? Ramit, can you see something interesting here?
Reduce drowning, of course, the top one. Increase participation, education, awareness, no drownings, more facilities, water safety, improve swim ability, expand to other regions, greater collaboration, community messaging, swim sessions, networking, increased water safety, knowledge development, goal 100% literacy on water safety, perhaps, education at beach, zero drowning. So I guess reduced and zero drowning is the top one for us.
I think very good inputs here, and again I think the role of youth in this is very important, and since we have heard that the participation of the males in these programs has been really low, so I spoke with Stacy over a phone call a few weeks back, and I was thinking, both of us were thinking, can we probably create a Father's Day gift where a child gives a Father's Day gift to the dad, which is a coupon saying, Dad, please go to the swim center and learn swimming. Something like that. And the Gurdwara and our program is happy to make a small contribution towards that. We are currently running out of money, to be honest with you. We got raised $24,000. We have used most of it. We will keep door knocking and asking for donations for something like this. But the key thing is that if at all we can think of such innovative things over the next 3 years, you will see there will be more men in the swim centers, there will be more people enjoying swimming pools on a holiday, you will see more people in the beaches, you will see more people buying swim costume, and that will actually help the swimming businesses. You may not get more gold medals, but for sure, we will get a gold medal or a diamond medal by saving lives. So, and Pradeep says this, that if we have got 226 people to learn swimming, we have actually saved more than 226 lives, because these people would be really vigilant on the beaches while they are in an outdoor environment. And I think we'll quickly do 2 more and then we will start winding up. I thought this would be easier, but...
And while Harpreet is doing this, I'd just like to add that it will be great if we can share these stories. Like the one that Sandeep shared today, and participants who are part of these programs, after finishing the programs, what their experience has been. If we can have some social media stories so that the word gets spread out to the community members. That will definitely encourage participation, and of course we need to have more grants for supporting these kind of initiatives, because it's important, it is critical. So our next Mentimeter activity is, how can we better engage men in these initiatives? Let's have some exciting ideas. The next question we have for you is, how can all of us collaborate to increase visibility and reach of our swimming programs?
And the last question for you is, how do you think we can effectively engage individuals who may not be able to learn swimming for several reasons? It could be, a drowning, a near drowning incident that they have gone through, which applies to me as well. I've done about 15 classes and I have been able to learn swimming with confidence so far, because when I was 15 years old, I had a near drowning incident. So the moment I get into water, I start having a bit of shiver in the pool. And I think there are such cohorts of people who may not be able to learn swimming. What role do you think they can play? My daughter tells me that I'm getting very boring, so it is time for some swim jokes, and she's going to say a few swim jokes. Yes? While everyone is doing some Mentimeter things, she's going to crack some swim jokes. Yes.
Hi, I'm Jasmine. I had two jokes. So one was, why does a seagull fly over the sea?
Does anyone want to answer that? Why does a seagull fly over the sea?
Why?
You wanted to see a girl? Can you ask again? Ask again.
Why does a seagull fly over the sea? Because if it flew over the bay, it would be a bagel. Why can elephants swim anytime they want? Because they have their trunks with them all the time.
Thank you, yes. I think I just want to provide all of you an opportunity to ask me any questions about the program. We had a panel, we also had my presentation, which I rushed through. But again, I think one of the biggest attractions for most of you to come to the Officer Sikh community was because
you had heard about this program here or there. And if you have any specific questions or suggestions for the Safely Engaging with Water program, I am happy to answer them. And the program currently is running in 4 swim centers. Another 2 have also released a flyer. We have about 12 swim centers today, and we really want this to get bigger. Obviously, I know there are some challenges, and there could be challenges around funding, there could be challenges around multicultural communities' presence in respective shires and all, or around the swim centers. But again, I think the reason it grew very well in the last 1 year was simply because our main swim center in Cardinia Align Leisure was very active in jumping on and taking the lead to launch this program in Cardinia. And once they thought that it was running very well in Cardinia, they shared the objectives and the impacts and the journey with other swim centers in Manningham and in KC. Again, Southeast Leisure, I got introduced through Align Leisure again, and they are quite happy with how it's going on. But I'm happy to take any questions if you have about the Safely Engaging with Water program.
Is there a program or an approach to tackle that problem before one steps into the water? I think that's very important because a lot of my friends, everyone who I talk to, they have this huge phobia which they can't get rid of. So every time they think of water, it's
It's a very good question, Indira, and it will, I'm sure, go in your publication in the Indian Sun. Any experts from the swim industry who would like to answer this? For those people who have phobia, what can be done to make them make a connection with water?
I think from my past experience with people from multicultural background, often fear is and phobia is a very common factor that you can come across with. But I would generally sort of say that if you are implementing this, you need to take a very genuine introduction approach, make it fun, social, simple. I know this sounds a lot, but it can all be implemented in very simple lesson plan, simple, fun, and flexible, social.
Very good question, Indira, and I actually met Ramji, a gentleman, in the RLSSA conference or in Sydney on Thursday, and he said that probably those people who have a phobia should start with floating on water, and that's a very, very good way for them to build a bond with water. And during my own program at Align Leisure, Donna, our trainer, introduced us to floating on water, and that was really good. And that gentleman said that there are several techniques around learning that, practicing that, and once you learn that, you can then take the next step of diving into water. I don't know if if I have the right information or not, if someone has test run something like this, but this is something that probably the swim centers can start introducing right in week 1 and week 2, and that might help. Does anyone want to supplement, compliment, comment on this? Yeah, please. Do you want to introduce yourself?
What I want to tell you that's all. That's fine. Governments are putting a lot of funding into schools programming. So all we can do is encourage parents and schools to get their kids into programs and lessons organised by schools. And then what we encourage in the facility is once you finish your schooling programming, that might be a 2-week program, to go into mainstream lessons, and then educate parents to come outside of the lessons and try and come every day to continue education in swimming.
Great, thank you. And on your screen we have the results from how can we better engage men in this initiative. And you know, there is some information on men leading the promotion, bring a friend, link them to other sports activities, get partners involved, social media, try to understand what keeps them away, create some male role models, bundle fitness into the package, and I think some of these are really good things. And again, at the end of this event today, if you have any ideas around how can we get more men from multicultural communities to sign up for swimming, I think that will be a massive contribution to this event, and we will really appreciate that. This also reminds me that, let me just pull out the other question quickly, and we can deliberate that. But how can we collaborate more and promote such programs and increase the visibility of such programs? Mentimeter is kind of testing me today. Promote at facilities, present at community groups, take all details, word of mouth, partnerships, and in this respect, you know, I really wanted to request you to give it a thought that, you know, can we somehow get the multicultural leaders, males and females, to sign up for such programs? And when they sign up for such programs and do it on their social media, I think a lot of people will actually come and start getting involved. And the other thing, Nick, that probably your group could also think about, and it has been going in my head for a while, is how can we involve stakeholders like the hotels in the region? Now when I check in a hotel, the hotel should give me a leaflet with some green ticks saying these are the things that I can do safely, but some red font things as well telling me to be very cautious when I go to an unpatrolled beach, or I should not go there at all, and the list of patrolled beaches and maybe a QR code directing me to the beach safe app. These are things that, you know, we can actually involve the other stakeholders as well, and that will certainly help in making, you know, drownings a history. Any comments from anyone, please?
I'm from the Fijian Association. Have you communicated with North and Northwest side councils like Brimbank, Melton, Hume, because there's a huge growth up that way, a lot of migrants are there, and also Pacific Islanders. So maybe it's worth talking to those councils on the other side as well. I mean, apart from sea, there's also lakes and rivers and dams, which are obviously quite dangerous also.
Yeah.
So perhaps look into that also, because it's a huge growth, especially the Plumpton, Sydenham, Taylor's Lakes. So, yeah. Okay.
I totally agree. Thanks a lot for that suggestion, and that's where, you know, all of you stakeholders have to actually, you know, spread the word about such program, our program, or similar programs, and that is one of the reasons that we wanted all of you to be here today. And the raincoats were very kind, and now they are pouring. Don't worry, we have umbrellas to take you to your cars, so it will be all right. One other question that has been going around my head and I have not put in here was around, do you think we need to have an event like this? I understand Royal Life Saving Society Australia does a big scale event. I was there on Thursday and there was so much of food for thought there. Do you think we need to create similar event around the World Drowning Prevention Day in Victoria as well? And again, I mean, with about 58 organizations and over 100 people who attended today, I think the enthusiasm shows that we really can pull up an event of this kind. But again, have a think about this, and those who are interested, we can certainly talk. ARV is here, LSV is here, Nick's group is here. They were the founding members of the first event, and it was then supported by N11. RLSSA has flown its staff about 1,000 kilometers to come to this event and engage. So I think I would really request all of you to have a think about this, and if you think in some ways we can create an annual event around this, that will be a good start. We can start working on this and generating, resources to do something like this. And again, when we do that, this was more of a pilot test of what we can think about, talk about. But again, we can organize it in a more structured way. And with that, I would request everyone to possibly think for about 5 minutes and give us any feedback and suggestions about today's event or anything that you want to share. It should not be us talking all the time. It has to be a two-way traffic, and I want to give everyone an opportunity over the next 10 minutes or so to share any thoughts that they have and give any feedback and suggestions for an event of this kind. The floor is yours, guys.
I just wanted to add to what you just mentioned. I think it is extremely important that, for doing something like this effectively, in essentially a resource-constrained environment, we learn from each other. Like Stacey and Bernadette had some really interesting stats to share today. Bernadette is doing a survey of 20,000 people every year. So those learnings are valuable for all of us. So I would say it is quite important to have a platform like this where we can learn from each other and see how to make these programs more effective so that they deliver their intended value. Yeah.
Good point. Thank you. Amit?
I just want to add, in our community, especially in the Sikh community, WhatsApp, Instagram, that's the main way of consuming media. So one of the thoughts is that why not start an influencer channel, perhaps find an established influencer who can talk about these difficult topics, make them interesting, and if they have a following, let's say of 10,000, typically they have 100,000 or 200,000. Even if 1% of those took on our ideas, that's still a massive win compared to the 226 we have organically reached so far. So it could be a thought to think about.
Good point. Thank you. Yes, please. You want to introduce yourself and then?
Hi, I'm Misaki. I'm a drowning prevention researcher from Monash University. I'm also working for multicultural communities as well. And I think the point that you raised about the men, and that's what's something I'm working on as well, the developing IELTS practice material, incorporating beach safety messages because people don't listen to men. So having said that, I was just wondering that we could expand a little bit more sort of benefits of learning swimming. For example, my friend's doing swimming to lose weight. And my friend's doing also swimming for mental health. So that we might actually need to expand beyond just the safety so that we can recruit more. So we might need more research, on how much we can lose weight. But by doing that, we might actually recruit more, I think. That's my just.
Oh, it's a very good point. Yes. Very good point. Thank you. Anyone else wants to chip in any feedback, suggestions, please? Yeah.
Hello everyone, Travis Saw, Southeast Leisure, General Manager Operations. The swimming lesson program is fantastic, and I think that's utopia, that's the end game, but I think some education to the communities through subject matter experts, so it could be LSV or local sporting, local aquatic and recreation centres on your role when you're not in the water is very important. So I think a lot of the issues we have with pool rescues are from parents not watching kids in the water and relying on lifeguards. So there could be some education opportunities for subject matter experts to actually go out and present to communities, and not necessarily always the subject matter experts coming together in forums. So, and you know, talking about these are the best beaches to go to for lifeguards, and this is how you raise the alert and watch around water and things like that in aquatic and recreation facilities where we have policies for kids under 5 and under 10 and expectations of parents. So I think there's a bit of education that we could sort of go out to communities with.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate your feedback, and some of these things we tried to explore when we launched our program. So we informally talked to about 40-50 people from the community, and what we realized specifically in the Indian and the Sikh community was that they might have heard about it, they might have looked at a video on water safety and all, but by the time it comes to action, I mean, they forget everything. It's just like, you know, I give this funny example everywhere. If I just keep watching YouTube videos or reading recipe books and then think that I will become an expert in the kitchen, that won't happen. And that's where you just safely engaging with water program. The way we designed it was get about 10 weeks of lessons in the pool, and then get LSV to do a 1 hour teaching on how these skills can be translated into a marine environment or an open environment. And then those people who want to come and do a LSV program for about 2-3 hours in the beach under supervised environment, they are welcome to come and join. So I think we need a mix of all of these things. But I personally feel that getting people into the water is the most important thing and the starting point. I've met friends, you know, when I tell them, you know, why don't you learn swimming? Do you know swimming? They said, no, I'm a dashing superman and a superhero, and I can defeat water. So if someone is drowning, I will be able to save them. They don't even understand the impact of water, the force of water, and they might be right because they have come from places like India, and you know, in India they may not have visited an ocean, you may not have rip currents, the river waters, you know, the levels keep changing, and again because of climate change and several other reasons, the water is not at a very high velocity, so it's altogether a different environment. But again, if I personally feel if they have to really connect with water and understand water safety, they need to get into waters. Thank you, thank you. We have a question at the back. Yeah.
Miss Victoria, we have seminars, information sessions and learning sessions for all different people on many different things, drowning and recovery from drowning, CPR, how to use a defib, all that kind of thing. So that could be certainly an expand onto the drowning seminar from today.
Thank you. Thank you. And does anyone want? Yes, please.
Sorry, it's Marty from Royal Life. So, Harpreet, thanks for the invite today. I think one of the things that I immediately think of is building our capacity within our workforce. I think the next step is not only teaching your community on how to swim, but seeing lifeguards and seeing swim instructors that come from this community. I think that would be really powerful. There's a lot of research into our workforce, and the cultural diversity of our workforce needs to improve, and that's something that Royal Life are really looking at. So I think that's one thing, and probably the other thing, you asked the question about do we want more of these type of events. I think it's imperative that these events happen. It can't be left to your Life Saving Victoria or your Ambulance Victoria or Royal Life Saving to run these. They need to be run at a local level.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we will start winding up unless anyone has a last question, observation, suggestion or feedback to offer. Anyone? Okay, thank you. I think it has been a very good event. I feel, especially given the fact that it has been organized by community volunteers who have a passion, and our passion at the officer Gurdwara is passion for compassion. And the incident that that happened with Sandeep actually triggered us to get into that mode of, thinking that it's a big problem and we need to work. So at the foremost, I would like to thank and congratulate and applaud for my team of volunteers from the Gurdwara. Thank you everyone. And I would also like to thank our partners who actually agreed to do an event of this kind. Kathy has never ever visited us, but she had the trust in testing it at a new location in a new environment. Thanks Kathy for partnering on this. Life Saving Victoria colleagues, thanks a lot for coming today. Please convey my thanks to David Holland as well, who is a big support. And I hope to see you in your annual event on 9th of August. And again, LSV has provided massive support in terms of information, resources, guidance, as well as doing the 1-hour program for the community and keen to get the community into the beaches. I would also like to thank Royal Life Saving Society Australia to have come all the way from Sydney to come and support this, and also getting me tickets to fly to RLSSA event where we talked about what we have done in the community at grassroots levels. And big thanks to the panel and big thanks to the collaborators. Jake is here, he's a big supporter. Every time I call him for a request, he said, wish granted. The same thing applies to Paige and Paula. They have been massive supporters and they always are on board. And one thing I must acknowledge is that I met Paige and Paula, and within about 10 days we launched this program, and I think even the governments can't work at that efficiency and that pace. So thanks a lot to our collaborators for making this happen. The event was also supported by N11 Hemant Grover Foundation. Thanks a lot for colleagues from N11 and Hemant Grover Foundation. I hope I have not missed anyone. But again, thanks to Sheena Watt, our MP and Parliamentary Secretary for Emergency Services, Gary Mas, to come and support the event. Dr. Sushil Kumar, who is going to post this on social media so that more Indian community can be aware of these programs. Councillor Alana, Councillor Matt and Councillor Anthony Walter, who supported the first half of the event. Viv was here. We also would like to thank all the colleagues from several councils and several organizations who came today. A special thanks to our media colleagues who came today to cover the event as well. And I think the outreach in the ethnic media is very important. A lot of multicultural people still don't read the Age. They still don't watch the SPS News, but they do tune into SPS Hindi and SPS Punjabi and read Indian Sun, one of the most leading magazines. So I think we need to get our words there and stories there, and I think that will work. I think that is all I wanted to say. I would also like to thank my wife and my daughter here, because I cracked a joke and I hope I will get the dinner tonight. So that was just a joke, Rinku, and no offenses intended, and I hope I will still get a beautiful meal from you tonight. That is all, guys, and thank you for coming. We still have some tea and snacks, and again, if you want to be here and talk, I am here, my team is here. If you want to take a short cultural tour of the place of worship inside and see, what do we do there and how do we do it and the principles of Sikhism, I can take you there for 15 minutes. And the rain, I hope, will clear out soon. But if you need umbrellas, we have umbrellas. Please walk back to the car park safely. I hope we will cross paths very soon. And again, if you have any ideas or any events happening where we can come and collaborate and work together, we will be keen to have you. Thank you, everyone.
I feel like it would be remiss of me to not do a huge thank you to Harpreet and his team.